Good evening, everyone. It's great to have you on board. And the time with Tutor Ayo, the enthusiastic tutor. And okay, I think my mic was muted. It's quite unfortunate. Can you all hear me now? Can you all hear me now? Okay, I think it's better now. Yes. So I was just trying to explain. All right. I was just trying to explain to us that the course MTH106 is a very interesting course, and we have put in a lot of effort, time, energy, and resources in teaching this course. So I said, for those of us who haven't gotten the calculation exam questions, like calculation exam keynote of MTH 106, I said you need to get it and use it tonight. And for those of us who have gotten it already, let's use it again to refresh our memory. And also, if you are not so good with calculation, you can level up with the theoretical questions because this exam most time is usually 60-40. Calculation is 60, theory is 40. All right. So that you can also go with calculation, you can level up with the theory. So for those of us who need the keynote, all right, to prepare for the theory, and that keynote will also come with where you will find exam practice questions and answer for MTH 106. Note all these are very important, helping you to prepare for your exams. And most importantly, next semester, because if you can scale through MTH 105 in your past semester, MTH 106 now, next semester we are looking at STT 205, another calculation on its own. And the upper semester, you're looking at STT 206, another intense calculation. So I want to use the opportunity to encourage you all that bear it in mind. This next coming semester, that this forthcoming semester, will be very short in the sense that originally we're not supposed to be having an exam now. The school's supposed to be on holiday. But what happened last semester that the calendar was altered made the whole thing to all right, caused this imbalance, all right. So in order for there to be a balance, for example, now this semester alone, 3 exams, this year alone, 3 exams. So it's going to be back to back. All right, you need to join the private class as early as possible next semester, so we can start taking all these your calculations and all your um, challenging courses together. How do you get to become a member of the private class? All you need to just do is go to our official website, www.tutorion.net, and use the WhatsApp button to send me a direct message. Enough of all this. Let's go straight into tonight's business. Okay, so we have MTH106. That is the question we are taking tonight, the course we are taking tonight, MTH106. So if you're on the stream and you have not smashed the like button, or if you have not subscribed to the channel, ensure you do that right away. Now, let's take our first question for tonight. It says, and dash is an annuity whose payments are made at the beginning of each period. And dash is, all right, an annuity. Okay, an annuity whose payments so we know how we do it. First thing, we are going to attend to theory, and later on we are going to move to calculations. Okay, so now it says here that dash is an annuity whose payments are made at the beginning of each period. Are made at the beginning of each period. And dash is an annuity whose payments are made at the beginning of each period. Okay, so who is helping with that? Also, we have annuity due. Okay, please let's ensure to provide answers to questions. Very, very important. Annuity, annuity due. Annuity due. Question 2. It says, a dash is an annuity for which the payments continue forever. A dash is an annuity, okay, for which the payment continues forever. A dash is an annuity for which the payment continues forever. Let's provide answers to questions. Awesome. We have that as perpetuity. Question 3. It says, there are dash primary considerations When thinking about annuities, all right, there are dash primary consideration when thinking about annuities. There are dash primary consideration when thinking about annuities. What seems to be the problem? We are over 20 of us on the stream, and just less than 5 persons are the one giving answers. This exam is tomorrow, for crying out loud. I expected more. What's the problem? We are just doing theory. What's the problem? Let's respond to questions. Use the comment section to chat. Use to respond to questions. Yes, there are two. Thank you very much for that. Now let's take this. It says, in an dash annuity, the investor begins to receive payment immediately upon investment. In an dash annuity, the investor begins to receive payments, okay, immediately upon investments. Wonderful. Awesome. Awesome. So we have that as immediate. Okay. Question 5. Question 5 says, question 5 says, we have this as, there are dash sides to a real number. There are dash sides to a real number. Wonderful. There are two sides to a real number. Okay. Wonderful. Now let's take this question. A simple and instructive way of illustrating the relationship between sets is the use of dash. A simple and instructive way of illustrating the relationship between sets is the use of dash. Illustrating the relationship between sets is the use of dash. Good question. I love that. Good question. When it comes to mathematics, that is Miss Marvelous Emmanuel. I love that question. When it comes to mathematics, mathematical question, arithmetics, when providing answer, write your answer out in figures. All right? Write your answers in numerals. Don't write it with alphabet. Let's say, for example, look at this question. There are dash primary consideration when thinking about annuities. You are not expected to write this, all right, using figures. Okay? Two sides. You're not expected to write this using figures. But when you have, all right, mathematical questions, let's say, for example, 2 plus 2 equals, you're not expected to write this out in alphabet. You're expected to write your answer out in using figures. Do you understand that, Miss Marvelous? Miss Marvelous, did you get that? Okay, now let's continue. Yes, we have that as Venn diagram, otherwise known as Venula. All right, Venula diagram. That's VD in short. Okay, so we have that as that. So we can squeeze in one more question here. It says, question 7. The power set of, okay, this is not something we can take here. Given the set n equals, given the set n equals 2, 6, 8, 10, dash, 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 dash. All right. This is said to be n is said to be dash. N is said to be dash. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Okay, it's Miss Marvelous. Thank you for the correction. Thank you very much for that. We are doing wonderfully well. Miss Marvelous, I would encourage you to join the private class. All right, next semester, there's a lot to catch up with. There's a lot to benefit in the private class. All right, this is where we take classes back to back throughout the semester. All right, so we take classes back to back throughout the semester, and during exam we have revision. We also give the keynote to students as a token coupled with exam practice questions. No wonder it's very easy for students in the private class to bag A and B and less of C. Very easy for them, because considering the fact that you have been consistently attending classes, and the way the classes are designed, the way our classes are designed, we're in the private class. We don't only do YouTube. YouTube is not even the benefit of being in the private class. You know, the most important thing is that one-on-one discussion. That one-on-one discussion on Telegram that we used to have, it used to open on YouTube. There can be a lot of assumptions. I'm not even so good with typing, right? But you see, when we come on Telegram, when I begin to interact with you, we begin to interact with each other, we begin to find out certain things about you as a student. Whether you understand what we are talking about or you don't really understand it. Now it says here, Which of the following, this is gonna have a, which of the following, all right, are prime, let's just abbreviate that, prime numbers. So we have option A. Okay, we have 2, 4, 5, 7. Option B, we have 5, 7, 11, 12. Option C, we have 5, 7, all right, and we have 3. Which ones are prime numbers? Which of the options are prime number? Just say C, A, or B, and that's fine. So after this set of questions, we'll just stop here for the theory so we can take calculation. Wonderful, wonderful. So that I can allow us go to bed early, take your rest. For those that want to wake up in the midnight to study, they can wake up and study. And for those who want to get the keynote, you can still get it and use it to prepare for your exam. Now it says here, positive and negative whole numbers, 0 inclusive, are known as dash. Positive and negative whole numbers, 0 inclusive, are dash. Okay. Miss Anastasia, are you on this stream? Please, if you're on the stream, signify. Miss Anastasia. Wonderful. We have integers. Integers. Awesome. So we have question 10. Now we have real numbers. Oh, wonderful. You have been here. I didn't just notice. Wonderful. Sorry about your experience not being able to get the membership card, membership badge. It's quite unfortunate. That is the only one that you are the only person who has tried and was unable to achieve that this semester. Hopefully next semester you'll be better prepared because you're having STT and you're also expected to get a membership badge to access it. Now, real numbers that can be expressed as the ratio of two integers are called dash. Real numbers that can be expressed. Real numbers that can be expressed as the ratio real numbers that can be expressed as the ratio of two integers are called dash. Thank you for your understanding, ma. Wonderful. Yes. Real rational numbers. Awesome. Rational numbers. Wonderful. I shouldn't use that. Let's just write this in full. Rational numbers. So we have question 11. 11 says, now according to what we have here, now okay, just a moment. If set A and set B are said to be disjoints, then their intersection is a dash set. If now set A and B are okay, set A and set B are disjoints, are disjoints, then the intersection is a dash set. If set A and B are disjoint, then the intersection is a dash set. Then the intersection is a dash set. Questions will be twisted. You need to prepare. I don't want any one of you on this stream tonight to come back to write this exam. I don't pray that for any of you. And I don't want you all to have, any of you to have any poor grades. So for those who haven't gotten the keynote, like I said earlier, ensure you request after this class tonight. Wonderful, null set. Take the next one. It says here, just a moment. All right. We have all the sets under investigation will likely be a subset of a fixed set called dash. Let's repurpose that question. Originally, it says, in any application of the theory of sets, all the sets under investigation will likely be subset to a fixed set called dash. So let's repurpose it. All set under all set investigation, okay, will be under a fixed set called dash set. More like the population, where you have your sample and you have your population. So the population set will be which set? Wonderful. We have universal set. Awesome. Universal set. Question 13. Now for question 13, it says, Okay, integers are closed under the operation of, now let's put it this way, integers are not under the operation of dash. Integers are not closed under the operation of dash. Integers are not closed under the operation of dash. Integers are not closed under the operation of dash. Wonderful. Multiplication are not closed under the operation of multiplication. Okay. Question 14, as we are calling in the wrap soon on the theory. Now we have question A. Are we good? Now let's do this question. The set of all elements which belongs to set A and set B is known as the dash of set A and set B. The set of all elements which belongs to set A and set B is known as the dash, okay, is known as the dash of set A and set B. And that's our final question. I think I need to adjust my camera to cover that. Please pay attention to your spelling, Mr. Joe. Pay attention to your spelling. Okay, wonderful. Awesome. The internet is pretty bad for my hand, and nevertheless, we can. Okay, wonderful. It's said to be the complement. Yes, it's said to be the complement. Okay, it's said to be the complement. Okay, wonderful. We have that as the complement. Awesome. Okay, wonderful. The complement. So, without further delay, let's take some questions very quickly on the calculation. So, the first question we are taking tonight will be on equation. Okay, the first question we are taking tonight will be on equation. And to start with, that will be on simultaneous equation. So we have MTH 106 revision. Now we have calculation. So to start with, we are starting with simultaneous equation. Let's take this question. It says 2x plus, this is the time whereby if you don't have your calculator, you need to go and get it, equals 4. And we have 2x minus y equals 0. So it might come out like this in your exam. You really want to know how to rearrange and start your calculations. So now, let's do the rearranging. We have 2x plus y equals 4 as equation 1, 2x minus y equals 0 as equation 2. So who can tell me what I'm not here to teach. Remember, this is not a class, it's a revision. I'm not expecting this to be new to us. I mean, 5 months or 6 months now into the semester. So I'm not expecting this to be new to us. So they expect me to be giving detailed tutorial. So now, what are we to do here? As it is now, what are we expected to do? Okay, I'm waiting for our response. Okay, I'm waiting for our response. Wonderful. Awesome. I'm getting some nice response. Yes, we have to eliminate y. This is pretty straightforward. All right, very straightforward. So this elimination is more like, all right, removing, canceling. This is a positive y, this is a negative y. It cancels each other, straightforward. Then from here, we have 4x equals 4. 4x equals 4. Simple and straightforward. From here, we can say divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 4. From here, we then have x over 4 equals to 4 over 4. From here, we cancel this. We are left with 1. All right. So from here, we can say x equals 1. Simple, straight, and precise. Are we together? Simple, straight, and precise. We've solved for x. So what is for y? Let's find out. So let's solve for y from equation 1. Solve for y in equation 1. Are we on the same page? So the comment section is dry. Are we on the same page? Are we following? Wonderful. So to solve, so now that we have, okay, let me finish solving this one. The next one will be the one to solve it. To solve for y in equation 1. Equation 1 brought down here is 2x plus, I think I should even use another marker to make it stand out. 2x plus y equals 4. That is equation. Since we already know what x is, all we need to do is to just substitute, all right, 1 for x, all right, or substitute x by 1. Okay, now we have 2 in equation 1. So we have 2 into brackets, all right, x1, 2 into bracket x plus y equals 4. Then from here, we can say this, open this bracket, it becomes 2 plus y equals 4. So now, what are we expected to do here? Awesome, awesome. So from here, what are we expected to do? At this point, what are we expected to do? You know, I said I'm not here to teach in details. We are here to interact. It's revision. At this point, what are we expected to do? Rearrange. Okay. Somebody said rearrange. Is that correct? Is that correct? Okay. Okay. Collect last term, rearrange. Not bad. So let's use the word rearrange. So y equals 4 minus 2, which is, all right, so now y comes here, 2 goes back, 4 comes forward, and this positive 4 becomes negative. So y now equals what? Y equals what? Y equals what? Wonderful. Y equals, yes, Y equals 2. Four. Let's get ready to solve the next one. Y equals 2. If we had enough time, we could have started doing all the proving, but that is not necessary. We have a lot to cover than proving. So now let's take one more question on this and we'll call it a wrap and move to something else. Like I said earlier, for those of us who haven't gotten the calculation keynote for this course, this and many other is what you will find in that keynote in detail. All right. So let's take this question. It says 3x plus 2y equals 12. 3x plus 2y equals 12 and 4x minus y equals 5. 4x minus y equals 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange it for us, and from there we'll take it up. Okay, I'm going to rearrange it for us, and from there we will take it up. So now I'm going to do this by rearranging it. So it's going to be 3x plus 2y equals 12. That is equation 1. And we have 4x plus 4x minus, I beg your pardon, minus y equals 5. That is equation 2. So solve for x and solve for y. So first, you're expected to solve for y. I'm giving us, this is 2 minutes, 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes for each. 2 minutes for each. Okay, our time starts now. Wonderful, wonderful. Getting some nice responses. Awesome. The 2 minutes for the first one is complete, has been completed. Okay, the next one now for why. Please, if you're on the stream and you have not smashed the like button, you have not subscribed to the channel, please let's ensure to do that. While we are working on the question, I want to use the opportunity to please encourage each and every one of us that during the short break, we'll be doing classes more like interviews. All right. These interviews, what we will be discussing, point of the interview will be questions, will be attending to certain frequently asked questions by students. Questions like, do does now student goes for NYC? Questions like, how much does it cost to complete biz ad a program in the business administration? All right, a business administration program undergraduate, how much will it cost? How much will it cost for masters? What does it require if I'm doing my direct entry? Questions will be answered. So just want to encourage us that we should ensure to watch this informative content that will be posted regularly on a daily basis. And let's ensure to subscribe to the channel and encourage and support us as well. And most importantly, next semester, like I said earlier, it will be kind of short because the management of the National University of Nigeria will want to strike a balance, considering the fact that there have been, all right, there has been a rescheduling of things. This exam is supposed to be by December, and here we are in January writing this exam. So, come first week of March, everything is returning back to normal. We need to join the private class as early as possible so we can start taking our classes. Okay, enough of that. So, let's get the answer for number two. So I'm getting some nice responses on the comment section. Awesome, awesome. Yes. I think that's enough time. We spent enough time. That's enough time already. So this is cancelled. Since the majority got it correctly, I think there's no point. Okay. Or should we solve it? Should we solve it or we should just move to something else? Because from the chat, from the comment section, I can see that the majority did well. The majority did well. Should we solve it? Okay. Miss Precious says I should solve it. What about others? What do you say? Should I solve it? Okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine. So let's solve it then. Okay. So I just want to use the opportunity to let you know you are not going to use this thing to your exam. What you are going to be doing is the final answer. All right. But it's okay to know how this is being arranged. So you can see that this is a bit different from the one we did the other time. All right. Here, y has a coefficient, unlike the other one whereby y doesn't have a coefficient. So what do we need to do? We need to think of something that we can use to multiply. All right. Multiply to make the coefficient of equation to make the y, all right, to make the y of equation 2 have the same coefficient with equation 1. And the only thing we can use to do that is to multiply. The only way we can achieve that is to multiply equation 2, all right, by 2. Okay, that's the only way we can achieve that. Multiply equation 2 by 2. So bring down equation 1 equals to 12. That is equation 1. Then now that we are multiplying equation 2 by 2, the figures will change. All right? The figures will change. All right. Now, 2 by 4x should give us 8x, if I'm not mistaken. Not plus, I beg your pardon, negative. So 2, don't forget, there's an invisible 1 here. All right? So 2 multiplied by y, or y, 1y is the same thing as y. So we have that as 2y. I can still erase this, and if you want me to leave it, it's not a problem. So here we have 2 multiplied by 5, that gives us 10. So we have this as equation 3. Are we good to go? Do we understand how we arrived here? Do we understand how we arrived here? Wonderful. So from here, the rest is story. All right? From here, the rest is story. Then we can eliminate now. Now from here, we can eliminate, and we can do what we need to do. Okay? As soon as we eliminate, we can do what we need to do. This becomes 11x equals, this becomes what? That should give us 22. Then we can divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 11. So from here we can say x all over 11 cancels this, 22, 11, all right? So we should be having, what should be given us should be 2. So here we should be having x equals 2. And to solve for y is the same thing. So we can move straight to something else. So this is what you need to understand about this. So I want us to quickly touch on what we call theory. Well, you know, set theory is not as difficult as it may seem, all right? But one thing you need to understand about set theory is that you need to understand the signs. Null, and power set is also very important. We'll take that very soon. Null, interjection, universe, intersection, I beg your pardon, intersection, null sets, and all these things you need to understand. So that no matter how they twist, the question, but sir, where is 4, sir? Where did you get the 4 from? What do you mean by 4? Miss Precious, which 4? Thank you very much for that. I'm not sure I understand that. I get what she's trying to explain. So very quickly, let's take yes, we multiplied it. We added it. Okay, we added it. It was okay. I think I get the question now. It was 4x, okay, minus y equals 5. So we multiply everything by 2. So this one became 8. This one became 2y. And this one became 10. Do you get it now? Okay. Miss Precious is already attending to that. Thank you very much. So now, let's take something on this very quickly. There's something called equality sets. Okay? When we say equality sets, we are simply referring to the fact that set A, the element of set A, all right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all right, and the element of set B, okay, we have 3, 1, 4, 2, all right. Set A and set B can be said to be A equals B or B equals A, because everything you have here, not a single one is missing. Not a single one is missing. Now, there's something called subsets. What makes subset different from equality sets is that one another might be missing. So that is why it cannot be equal to, it can only be a subset. Now, let's take an example. Subset. So we have A, the element of set A, we have, okay, we have 1, 3, then 5. Let's extend this. We have 7, we have 11. Okay. Now, element of set B, then we have things like, all right, 11, 7, and 5. Now, you cannot say, looking at this, you cannot say A is equals to B. It is not. All right. Automatically, A is not equal to B. Why? Because it's not everything that is here you can find here. Okay. You can only find some of the things here in B. All right. And that is why it is now said to be a subset. All right. A subset. This thing that looks like C is not serious. All this thing we explain in the keynotes. When you get the keynote, you have the proper details. So it's a subset. Now let me give us another example. So if questions so that we can solve it. So set A, element of set A, we have 2, 4, 6, 8. All right. So now, for you to solve, what elements will be in here to make A a subset of, all right, B a subset of A? What elements will be here? List them out to make set A and B To make set B the subset of set A, what elements would you have there? Not bad. Yes, not bad. Wonderful. Awesome. So it could be any of these things, but it must not be everything. All right. It could even be 8. It could even be 6. It could be any. All right. But it must not be all. But for you to say 3, 5, 3, 5, they are wrong. If you only say 3, 5, then this is not a subset. Then, Mr. David, when you say subsets, some of the things that are in B can be found in A. Then you can say that's a subset. Okay. So now let's do for a null set. So we have null set. So if set A, all right, is 3, set 1, all right. So set B is said to be a null set of set A if what we have here is, all right, 9, 8, and 0. All right. So we have set A, all right, and B equals a null set. Why? Because there's nothing here that you can find here, or there's nothing here that you can find here. No elements between the two can be traceable. Then we call that a null set. So very quickly, let's take something on power set. There was a question I saw when we were taking our theory, but I don't want us to take that question because I need to explain it to us. This is the reason why. When we say power set, all right, what are we talking about? Let's say, for example, the power set of set M, okay? The power set of M, okay? The power set of B, the power set of F, of D, all right? When we say power set of any set, this is how they are being denoted. We have 2 raised to the power of M, 2 raised to the power of B, 2 raised to the power of D. This is how you signify. This is how you get to identify it. All right, how a power set is being recognized. So let's take a question very quickly on power set. Please pay attention to this question. Okay, so we have the power set of remember when I said about null set, we can also use that for disjoints too as well. Now, it says here, the power set of, now say, let T equals we have 4, 7, and 8. Okay, so then, okay, 2, the power set of T will be, first thing foremost, It can come in different ways. All right. Can come in different ways. Then the next thing comes like this, whereby we have 4 comma, that's one set. This 8, we have, okay, we have 4 6 8, and this, all right, 4 is done, 7 and 8. If there was a 9, the next thing is, let's do it like this first. The next thing is 7 and 8. If there was a 9, then it will be 7 and 9. Okay, and would have also included 4 and 9. But since there is no 9, this is not needed. So we stop at 7 and 8 after we have used 4 in these two and the other two elements. The next thing to do now, all right, is to pick this element individually, whereby we have 4, whereby we have 7, whereby we have 8. Then we have the last one. This question came out in your TMA, so don't just see it as they took their time. They didn't do it like this. They listed it. So you needed to, I needed to rearrange them before I even get the answer. Okay. So we have on that. So this is more like you study, you observe, compared to you solve. So let's take the last one, which is real number. Okay. Real number. Very simple and straightforward. Whereby we have -4. Now, one thing you need to understand by a real number, I asked this question the other time. Real number has two sides. There's an origin. Okay. Real number has two sides. There's an x and there's a y. Okay. And there's an origin. Okay. There's a x, there's a y. Now, which side of this origin, which side of this line is usually positive and which are usually negative? Which side, if you want to get for annuity, you need to go and get the keynote. We cannot start with one annuity and stop. Annuity is a series. Annuity is a series. We had about 13 different classes on annuity. It's a series. So you can't say we should solve for annuity in revision. It's a series. If you want calculations on annuity, just chat me up after this class. I will send it to you. It's in the keynote. Which side is the positive side? Which side is negative side? Wonderful. Awesome. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depends on the figures you have. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is negative, 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 and negative. So very quickly, let's take this question. It says -4 is -4 is greater than y. Okay, -4 is greater than y. what are we expected to do? From 4 here, we pick it up, it heads towards the origin. Since it is greater and not less than y, it picks this origin. Now notice that this thing here, this circle here is not shaded. Why? Because this sign here is not less than equal to. If it was less than equal to, then this will be shaded. All right? But because it is not less than equal to, it is not shaded. Please note that. And we have another word which says 5, all right, less than equals to x. All right? For this, what we are expected to do, all right, to shade is to shade this and it head towards the origin. Okay? And basically, it is how it works. That's how it works. So let's take this one. Let's take this one more. One more question. So I'll be asking us where this will be facing. So we have this. All right. We have this. We have the origin. And we have x. And we have y. Okay. And the question says we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, look at this. -5, -4, -3, -2, -1. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Pay attention to this question. It says, okay, 2 less than x, and we have this. Where will our arrow be facing? Where will our arrow be facing? Okay, now to attempt this is what we're expected to do. We don't have any business with this negative side. This is where we have our business. This is where our business lies. So from what we have here, then we'll have from the origin. All right? Are we using the origin? No. Since this is from 2, we pick it up from 2, unshaded. Then it moves towards 5. 5 here will be shaded. Okay? It moves from 2 towards 5, and 5 will be shaded. And it goes on and on. Somebody said x and y on the number line, right side is positive. Okay. Somebody said it's an oversight. I'm not sure I made any mistake. So basically, it is what it is. Thank you very much, everyone. This is what we call it a wrap for today. And like I said, let's do well to request keynotes after this class so we can strike a balance as you do the calculation, you do the theory to know both. Very, very important. I want to wish you all the best and success in your exams tomorrow. Do have a wonderful evening and bye for now. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Gift. Thank you very much, Miss Gift. Thank you, Miss Anastasia. Thank you, Miss Vivian. Thank you, Mr. David. Thank you, Miss Precious. Thank you, Miss Ade Tohun. Thank you, Mr. Olajide, Mr. Richard. Thank you, Miss Priceless. Thank you, Mr. Richard. Thank you, everyone. It's great to have you all on board. Wish you all the best and success in your exams tomorrow.